Good morning, children. In last physics class, we saw an introduction to physics and how to write the SI units for a given physical quantity. Our today's topic is Introduction to Light and Shadows. We live in the planet Earth where we can observe day and night with respect to the sun as sunrise and sunset. Once the sun rises, we get the light rays from the sun and it helps us to see the objects during the daytime. Is it possible for us to view the objects in the dark? No. So, light helps us to see the objects. Without light, we cannot see any objects or the persons nearby to us. This is what happens during the night. After sunset, there is no sunlight and we cannot see the objects. So, we are using torches, tube lights, and candles to help us to view the objects around us. If you see in this picture, there are so many light giving sources are present. But I am going to classify the sources as two: natural sources and artificial sources. Natural sources means the objects which can produce their own light by themselves, like your sun, fireflies. Okay, children? Like your stars. They are all the examples of the objects that they produce their own light. So they are called as natural sources. Whereas artificial sources means the objects which were created by man for his purpose to produce a light. Example: lamp and torches. These are all were created by man in order to obtain the light whenever the sun is not there or during the night time. So in this picture you have 5 objects. Classify them as natural and artificial sources. I can better say the artificial sources as man-made sources of light. It was created by man. Fireflies and glowworm are examples of natural sources of light. Okay. Here we have the moon and a mirror. Does a moon produce its own light? Is mirror a source of light? No. Both the mirror and the moon are not the sources of light. But you can question me now, ma'am, how is that possible? We have our moonlight during the night time, no ma'am. It is actually wrong, my dear children. We don't have the moonlight. It is that moon does not produce its own light. But we are getting the moonlight in the night time by the reflection of sun's light rays. I will explain you in detail about what is meant by reflection. Reflection is a very important thing. Only because of reflection we are able to see the objects through our eyes. If there is no light, we cannot see. Similarly, these light rays are doing an activity or some kind of an important thing called as reflection, which enables us to see the objects. What is meant by reflection? So here the source of light is my sun. From the sun, the light rays are traveling towards the moon in this direction. Moon is an object. Let us consider it as an object. The light rays from the sun, when it hits on an object, it did not pass through in the same direction like this. Instead, it got turned back and it was in the opposite direction. It changed its direction to the earth. So, this is called as your reflection. Whenever the light rays, when it hits on an object and changes its traveling path to the opposite direction, then that is the property of reflection by your light rays. To understand this better, take a torch in your hand. Stand in front of the mirror. Now, the torch is your light source and the mirror is an object. When you press the switch of the torch, the light rays coming from the torch falls on the mirror and it gets reflected. Could you observe the change in the direction of the light, my dear children? Yes, the light rays from the torch was changed. Its traveling path was changed. This is called as reflection. So, during night time, the moon will reflect the sun's light, giving us the light during the night time. Moon will absorb 93% of sun's light rays and it reflects just 7% to the earth. Now, so the same property of reflection applies in our human eye vision too. Whenever the sun's light or any light source falls on an object, it is reflected and then reaches our eyes. From the eyes, we have sensory nerves reaching to the brain, and the brain gives us the image of the object. This is what happens in the human eye vision also. So, all the objects around us is visible to us only by reflection of light. Yeah. Next, we are going to see the properties of light. Light always travel in straight lines. So, every day we are having the sunlight. So, from the sun, the light rays are reaching the ground in the form of rays, like your waves. What is a wave? Have you ever been to Black Thunder, my dear children? There you have a water game called as tides. There you would see the water jumping like this as your waves. So the light also travels like a wave but in straight line. To understand this experimentally, consider a cardboard sheet with a hole in the center. To the back of my cardboard sheet, I am going to place a blackboard. Now, I will take a torch and allow the light to pass through the cardboard sheet. So, this is my light source. This is a cardboard sheet with a hole, and here I have the blackboard. So, the light which travels through the hole in the cardboard sheet will fall on the blackboard, and you could see a clear crystal image of the torch as a dot or as with a circle outline. So this proves me that light travels in a straight line and it does not get scattered in any other direction. It does not change its direction. So it always travels in a straight line. Don't confuse this with your reflection, my dear children. Even in your reflection, after changing its traveling path, the light rays are traveling in straight lines. They are not scattered. Understand the difference between scattering of light and the traveling path is straight one. Okay. Light always travels very fast, around 3 lakh kilometers per second. There is an interesting fact about light's speed, my dear children. The light can travel within a second around the world about 7.5 times. Imagine how fast the light could travel, my dear children. It is very fast. We have even experienced this in our daily life too. During rain, both the thunder and lightning would start at the same time, but we would observe the lightning first. The light reaches the ground surface faster than the thunder. The light comes first and then the sound. Similar example is your pistol. Pistol means gun. So, whenever you are shooting, the fire comes out first and then we hear the sound at the second. So, these are all some examples to tell that light travels faster than your sound. Okay. Now, with respect to the light sources, we are classifying the objects as two main categories, that is luminous objects and non-luminous objects. Luminous means the objects which can produce their own light. So now you itself will be able to give your own examples like sun, stars and fire. These objects, they produce their own light. So they are all luminous objects. All the remaining objects which cannot produce their own light are classified as non-luminous objects. Your moon, table, chair, fan, everything is non-luminous objects. Now, I am going to classify this non-luminous objects alone into another 3 sub-classifications. I am not disturbing the luminous objects, children. It is done with that. So, they produce their own light. So, I am done with that. I am just classifying the non-luminous objects again into 3 types of objects or materials as transparent, translucent and opaque. Transparent means the objects which allows light to pass through them. Example, your glass. Your glass windows are your examples. The glass windows will allow the light to pass through them. This can be better understood with your book. You are going to cover your book with the lamination sheet. Now, your lamination sheet acts like your glass. Is the object behind the lamination sheet, the book's cover, is visible to you or not? Yes, it is visible because the lamination sheet allows the light to pass through it. Now, if you are covering the book with a brown sheet, is it possible for you to see the cover of the book? I mean the front page of the book? No, because the brown sheet will not allow the light rays to pass through. So, glass is your example for transparent material. Opaque materials means which do not allow light to pass through them. Example, wood, we human beings, or any box, washing machines, grinder, fan, buildings, all these things are opaque objects. Does it allow any light to pass through it? No. So, the objects which do not allow any light to pass through them are called as opaque objects. Keep that brown sheet in your mind, my dear children. So, with the brown sheet, I cannot see the cover of the book. So, it is like your resemblance for opaque object. Now, what is the intermediate category, ma'am? Translucent materials. Translucent means it lies between the transparent and opaque materials. So, it will let some light to pass through it. half of the light will be passed through that translucent material. Example, tissue paper and frosted glass. Frosted glass and your ice cubes are there. So ice cubes are translucent. Oil paper is there, butter paper is there, trace papers. All these things are example for translucent materials because they allow some amount of light to pass through them. It is not going to directly block fully, but it will allow some light. So, are you clear, my dear children? Transparent means it allows the entire amount of light to pass through them. The next extreme opposite of this type of materials is your opaque, which do not even allow any amount of light to pass through them. And the intermediate category of materials is your translucent materials, which partially allows some amount of light to pass through them. So, we saw the characteristics the properties of light as that light always travels in straight line, light rays can be reflected and light rays can be bent or refracted. This is another property of light, my dear children, called as refraction. Yeah. Now you can question me that, ma'am, you told that in the previous slide that light travels always in straight line. But now you are again saying it that light can be bent by the property of refraction. It is confusing, you may question me. But I mean that the movement of light rays is always straight. It is after bending also, it is going to travel in the straight line only. So before going to that, let me explain you what is the bending of light or what is meant by refraction. Take a tumbler, glass tumbler filled with water, and you are going to insert a pencil inside the water. What happens? What did you notice, my dear children? Did the pencil look like a bent one for you all? Why is it so? Have you ever experienced this, that you may be standing above the swimming pool and thought that the depth of the swimming pool is less? I mean the bottom surface of the swimming pool may be appearing as a raised one near to you when you view it from the outside, and once you jump inside the pool you would observe it that was actually not like that. The original depth of the water was a bit more. All these things are just because of the difference in the medium in which the light travels. Can you walk or run faster inside a water? Obviously no. It is not possible. It's because water is a denser medium. Denser means a thicker one. Air is lighter one and water is a thicker medium. There are two mediums in our atmosphere, children. Air. The atmosphere around us is one medium. I call it as one type. And water is the another medium or type. So, I am able to see all my objects because of the traveling of light rays in the air medium, and by the reflection of light rays it is visible to me. Now, in refraction, the light ray which is initially present in the air medium has to pass through your water. In this experiment, you have put the pencil inside the water, inside the glass tumbler filled with water. So, from the air, the light has to enter the water and then again it should be reflected to you to give you the image. So there are two different mediums, air and water. So two different mediums are there, and this leads to the bending of light. The light ray which enters the water will bend like this, and then again it will give you the image. Your eyepiece is here. So during the bending of light rays also, the traveling path of the light is a straight line. So does all the properties are satisfied, my dear children? Yes. Next we are going to see about shadows. What are shadows? How it is formed? We have classified the materials as transparent, translucent and opaque object. What is that opaque object, my dear children? Whenever an object is blocking the passage of light rays, then the object will be opaque. Opaque objects will cast shadows. We humans are also an example of opaque objects. If I go and stand in front of the lights of a car, will my shadow be casted behind me? Yes, because I am standing there by blocking the light rays, so my shadow will be formed behind me. The most important thing in your shadow is you need a screen. You need a screen like a blackboard or a wall for the shadow to form. You will be having your object at the first. Light source at the first, and in the middle you will have your object, and behind the object you have your screen where the shadows will fall. So this is a light source. In the center I have the object, and behind the object I have a screen where the shadow can be formed. So the object must be either of opaque or translucent to form a shadow. Try it out in your home, children. So you can either take a bench or any table and switch on the torch and keep any screen at the behind your object. Notice whether you are obtaining your shadows or not. Will transparent objects make shadows? No, because they allow the light rays to pass through them. Whenever you restrict its pathway, shadows are formed. Now we are going to see the size of the shadows with respect to your light source. Okay, if my light source is near, what will happen to the size of the shadow? If my light source is away from the object, what will happen to the shadows? This is what we are going to see. Even you would have noticed this before. In the early morning, if you're going and standing under the sun, your shadow will be long because the sun is your light. You are the object. The distance between you and the sun in the early morning will be large. So that is why your shadows are larger. The sun is low in the sky, so there is a large distance between the object and the sun. My dear children, don't confuse with this sentence and the distance between the object and your light source. Actually, here the sun is low in the sky. It means it is just rising. So, obviously the distance between the object and the sun will be high enough. So, that is why your shadow will be longer. What happens at noon? The sun is directly above your head. So, your shadow will be very short. And what happens in the evening? Again, during the sunset, the distance between you and your sun will be longer, and hence the shadow will be long in size. So this is just a summary of what we saw today, my dear children. We saw the properties of light and how the light rays helps us to see the objects clearly. So light always travel in a straight line. A shadow is formed whenever the object is of opaque or translucent type. The size of the shadow depends upon the distance between the object and the light source. Light can be reflected, and only by the principle of reflection we are able to see the objects around us. Okay children, regarding today's homework, I have sent you a worksheet. You can refer this video and try answering the questions. If you have any doubt, please call me, my dear children. Thank you.